I think people will be very surprised by the story at the heart of The Final Reckoning, especially when they discover that it's more or less based on true fact, because it deals with an episode that is so extraordinary, that required such bravery, law-breaking, daring by a handful of people who were ready to go into several countries and take on people who anybody else would be terrified to take on. And nevertheless did that with almost no resources. The idea just that that happened is one thing, but that it was really true and that they haven't yet heard about it, I think will shock a lot of people. Their first reaction, I think, will be to say, how come we didn't know about this before? The book opens with a shooting on the steps of the United Nations where a suspect terrorist is shot down by security personnel who later are convinced they've made a terrible, terrible mistake and shot an innocent man. Suddenly they're thinking, how on earth do we get out of this mistake? We're going to have to make sure the family don't complain, pay compensation. And so they turn to a lawyer, once idealistic, now pretty cynical and pretty materialistic, Tom Bourne, a lawyer who once had big dreams but is now going for the money and taking work wherever he can get it, including from very dodgy clients, probably even the mafia. They think he's just the kind of guy to clear up this mess. And he begins to do that and discovers not only that the man who was shot may not have been quite so innocent, but that he is part of a story that stretches back some 6 decades to one of history's darkest ever episodes, a part of a network of people that have been in the shadows and in secret, but nevertheless doing something which is, instead of being long part of history, is coming right back into the present. And it's up to Tom Bourne to unlock that secret, which in some ways is the last great secret of the Second World War. I have a day job writing an opinion column for a newspaper, and it is often quite opinionated. And I thought when I was doing this, which is so different, telling these kinds of stories, it would make a lot of sense to keep these two aspects of my writing life separate so that neither one really influences or affects the other. And so far it's worked very well, and Sam Bourne can write his stories and not interfere with what my other writing half does for the rest of his time. I can't remember a time when I wasn't planning to be a writer or hoping to be a writer. It is just something I've grown up with and always wanted to do. My father's a journalist, still working, and it is something that does just come to me actually as being what I do. I can't think of the last time, apart from on holiday, where even 48 hours has gone by without writing something. That's just sort of how I am, really.